My dudes, it's finally here. Another month has gone by and we have another update from Generation Zero. So today I'm going to be going over the February update, going over all the patch notes and talking about a special new health item that comes in the form of an actual source of food in this game, and talking about some of the new challenges that we've seen introduced for Alpine Unrest or Himfall Island. It's kind of a lean update this time, but I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff that we could talk about here today. So first things first, let's talk about this food source that got it introduced into the game. So the food source is a Swedish pastry treat called semla, and basically this is a new form of healing that will be running for a short period of time and is actually really easy to gather a lot of. So I feel like semla might be a very viable item that's been introduced into the game. And as well, we've seen some introductions of new challenges, as I said, and the rewards for those new challenges are really cool. It's a bunch of musical emotes, so we'll be going over those musical emotes towards the end of this video. But for now, let's start reading through the developer letter that came along with the February's patch notes. So Gipscat writes here, Happy Fettisdagen, everyone, which is the kind of Swedish holiday that goes hand in hand with semla. What's that? Most of you don't know what we're talking about? Well, that's okay. What it really means for you is that with this update, we will be introducing you all to a new limited time event where you'll be able to get your hands on a new item, the much loved semla. In game, this food item will quickly restore a small amount of health. Grab them while you can, as they'll be available from Tuesday, February the 25th until Monday, March the 2nd. So it's going to be going on for about a week here, my dudes, and really, honestly, you can gather up probably all of the semla in the world, or in the world of Generation Zero, really quickly and really easily. So I would say definitely start farming those, my dudes, and later on in this video, I'll be talking about how you can find the semla really quickly and really easily. So it goes on to say, in terms of other additions in this update, you'll see a change to the Alpine Unrest expansion. We've gone back and packed in a little bit more fun. There is a new challenge tree for expansion owners to work through, including some radical rewards in the form of musical emotes. One improvement we'd like to call out is an effort to give the game a bit more animation polish by updating some of the animations for other players and multiplayer, most notably their idle and running animations. From now on, you'll see characters looking a bit less stiff and instead look a little bit more natural. And like usual, below you can find a list of bug fixes with some important crash fixes in there. As we've previously mentioned, we're digging more into crashes recently and are trying to address them as fast as we can. Currently, we're rolling out some new processes internally that should help us get a better picture of the situation so we can address things better. So please share as much detail with us as possible if you experience a crash. And I absolutely second that. So what I'm going to have down in the description below is a link off to the forums for Generation Zero, and I highly advise you dudes to go over there, make yourself a quick account, and if you ever encounter any sort of crashes, try to go over to the forums and create a bug report so that that way we can help Generation Zero get to its perfect form. But with that out of the way, let's start talking about some of these bug fixes here. And this time around, I'm actually going to have all of the bug fixes in the description as well. So if you want to read through any of that, you can just pop open the description here on YouTube and read through it as I'm talking. So the patch notes are as follows. The UI fixes. There's a community report where they fixed an issue where the button for hold breath could not be remapped on PC. So now you'll be able to set up your hold breath button to be the same as your sprint button on PC, which is a great fix. They fixed an issue where the interact prompt on bikes was behaving oddly. They fixed an issue where another player's bike icon would appear on your HUD. And then they finally fixed an issue where some emotes incorrectly had the DLC icon tagged to them. For missions, they fixed an issue in the Flying Blind mission where it was unable to be completed due to the mission objective ticks not being counted properly. So you could finally finish Flying Blind. And then they fixed an issue where the Mission Unorthodox Skiing could not be completed if you were playing in someone else's game. For the characters, they fixed an issue where some emotes would appear broken in multiplayer if used while moving. And then for machines, they fixed an issue where rivals would disappear from the game world even if the game said that they were available. And then also they fixed an issue where the rivals that had disappeared could still level up, but their name would not be shown. So that just basically means that invisible rivals are no longer a thing. For the world, they fixed an issue where all gas pumps at gas stations were on fire, even if they hadn't been blown up yet. Then they fixed an issue where a hunter could sometimes spawn underneath the floor in the Overby airbase bunker. Dang it. They fixed an issue where ticks were spawning inside a barricaded cabin on Himfall. They fixed an issue where XP could be incorrectly rewarded for unlocking a safe house every time you joined a multiplayer game. They fixed an issue of several instances of objects inadvertently floating. They fixed several instances of world terrain appearing inside of buildings. They fixed several instances of world objects clipping into each other. And then they fixed a few instances of objects not having collision. And then lastly, for the crashes here, they fixed an issue where the spawning of a rival could cause the potential for a crash, increasing the chances with every newly spawned rival. So this was hotfixed on PC previously, but now it's rolled out for Xbox and PS4 players. And then they fixed an issue where fast traveling could cause a crash on PS4. So, all in all, not too many bug fixes this time around, but I think that that's actually genuinely a good sign for Generation Zero as a whole moving forwards. And hopefully we'll see these bug fixes become less and less throughout the updates, and eventually we'll start seeing more and more content get added. But with all of the bug fixes and the letter from the devs out of the way, let's take a good look at Semla here, and I'll give you guys some quick tips on how to farm up tons of Semla, and then we'll see whether or not Semla is actually a viable health item in this game. So as you can see here, I was able to gather about 61 bits of semla, and it only took me probably about an hour to gather up this many. It's really, really easy to get them, especially if you follow the formula that I'm about to tell you dudes. So the number one place that you can find semla is in kitchens inside of houses, meaning that houses, yet again, are being improved to be a lot more enjoyable to go in and loot. So the places that you really want to hit up first in order to get tons of semla are places like Ostervik, places like Hagaboda up in the north up here. Stenmira's pretty good too, and then all of the little cities and little cove outlets along the southern coast here. You'll be able to gather up tons and tons of semla just by going into the houses, and you'll only be able to find semla on the first floor because it only spawns inside of kitchens. In a few cases, I found two houses where semla spawned a little bit strangely, and there was actually like 2 bits of semla in the house, but usually you'll only find 1 bit of semla, and you'll only find it in the kitchen. Now let's take a little bit of damage here and see how viable semla is as a health resource. Alright, there we go. Oh, dude! It's bigger than I expected it to be. This is my first time actually holding it as an item in my hand. That is a massive pastry, my dudes. So let's eat this and see what's going on. Okay, so it heals like just a little bit. Just a little bit, just like 8 points of health, but it's pretty much instantaneous. I think that that's even faster than the advanced med kits. Nice! And there's a funny little eating sound effect that goes along with it too. My dude, my dude. So, out of an entire stack of semla, you'll be able to heal 160 points of health as long as you have all three of the health upgrades, in which case I highly advise that you get all three health upgrades because it just improves your survivability in this game tenfold. So that's pretty dang viable. I think that that's actually really worthwhile as a healing item, considering how fast you can chew through your semla and how quickly it heals you. So with the semla out of the way, we have the new challenges that were added to Alpine Unrest or Himfall Island. And if you've completed all of the missions in Himfall, you're going to wind up unlocking 3 brand new emotes right off the bat. And later on this week, probably in just a couple days, I'm going to be giving you guys a video telling you how to destroy all of these fuel tank or weapon of mass destruction chain events here for the challenges. So with the 3 emotes that I've got right now, I thought it would be kind of cool to put together a little bit of a music video, a little bit of a jam session with myself, I guess. So let's see how this all sounds. Now that's what I'd call an absolute banger of a track, my dudes. Uh, so actually, I'm kind of inspired here just by putting that all together, and I think I'm gonna do an extended cut for you dudes in the future. So if any of you guys like that little goofy music video, there's going to be more coming for that. But now with the 2 major introductions kind of out of the way for the February update, I'd like to talk about a couple secret changes that have actually been introduced in this update as well. The first of which, it's now a lot easier to pull off those Magnus quick kills, which I think is going to be the saving grace to the entire challenge for Alpine Unrest on Himfall. So definitely when you guys see my video, I'm going to be stressing using those Magnus quick kills to get through that challenge tree quickly and efficiently. And then the next really cool kind of secret update that came around that wasn't included in the patch notes is a new sound effect for the hunters. When the hunters do their jump attack, they do this kind of like crazy sounding whale kind of noise. I'm going to play it here real quick. So it's really interesting, and it has a lot of significance to the lore of Generation Zero. This is going to be a little bit of a spoiler warning for anybody that hasn't finished the game yet. But the AI is actually controlled by comatose bodies that are all hooked up to a machine. And from this whale that sounds like genuinely kind of sad, it's pretty crazy. This might mean that the unconscious bodies that are all hooked up to Phoenix are maybe slightly sentient and know what they're doing, which is crazy. That would be ridiculous because then they totally would not have wanted to bring about this entire apocalypse, but maybe they just don't have the free will to stop themselves from killing people, which is crazy. And also, it makes me feel kind of bad for the thousands of machines I killed now. But um, yeah, I think that this is a really cool little secret feature that they introduced in this update. And I'd like to know from you dudes if you'd want to see me cover these secret updates in the future for updates moving forwards, because we've seen a lot of them over the span of the past year. And I think it would be a lot of fun to talk about. So if you guys would like to see that, just simply comment "my dude" in the comments down below. But there you guys go. That is February's update. It's kind of a more carefree, more fun update, but it's got some valuable content inside of it, some excellent bug fixes, and I think that this is just a perfect update to have before March, where it's going to be the 1 year anniversary of Generation Zero, so that means that there's going to be something spicy cooked up there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, maybe consider subscribing, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.